This is the plaintiff, Georgina Barr. She says she's known the defendant for 30 years and they were good friends with benefits. She ended up moving in with him, but soon found out he was being evicted. They moved into another place together, and that's when she discovered her piggy bank had been cleaned out. The defendant is a no-good user who owes her $914.50, and that's what she's suing for today. This is the defendant, Barry Newborn. He says he and the plaintiff foolishly jumped into things blindly and moved in together. Things didn't go well, and now she's coming after him with a laundry list of things because she's playing games and being downright spiteful. Owe her money? Ha! He's accused of going hog-wild on a piggy bank.
All parties, please raise your right hand. Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome, ma'am.
Georgina Barr?
Yes.
You are suing Barry Newborn, your former boyfriend, for $914.50 that you say he owes you for all kinds of things when you guys were together. Money from your piggy bank, an apartment deposit, rent, and various miscellaneous bills. Storage? Tell me what's going on. How did you two meet?
I've known him since I was 16,
Okay.
and then we became friends with benefits.
When? When you were 16 or when you were...
Well, 16,
Well,
and
okay.
then I
That's
hadn't
more than
seen
I
him for
needed
like
to ask.
30
And then-
years.
And then 30, how many years later?
About 30 years.
How'd you guys reconnect?
Facebook.
Of course. So you reconnect and you start dating.
Yes, we started dating. I moved with him to his house.
How
That
quickly?
I thought it was his house. He told
Wait,
me
how quickly did you do that?
that. We started talking in about August, and then September 25th.
You moved in with a guy who you talked to for a month?
Yes. Yes, I did.
Why?
Because the relationship that we had back when I was 16, it was great. He's a good
Honey,
guy.
every relationship when you're 16
I
is
know.
great. Are you
He's a
kidding me?
good, He's a good guy.
Do you have children?
No.
Do you have children?
Yes.
Did your child live with you?
Yes.
What are you doing moving some woman crazy? Well, you don't know if she's like a maniac. You have no
Well,
idea.
Gina kind of like bum rushed me in the.
Bum rush, you lock the door, dude.
Yeah.
But it's your house, so you could stop her from moving in. Obviously, you
that,
didn't want
true
to
that.
stop her.
No, I care about Gina.
Yeah. You know what? You can care about somebody without moving in together. Did you know that?
Right.
Yes.
That
True
is
that.
a possibility, particularly when there's children involved, because they don't need that constant come and go. That's
No.
rough for them.
No, it ain't. It wasn't constant come and go. Gina was the first girl that I dated like
If you're
that.
the kind of guy who moves a woman in after a month, you're the kind of guy who moves a woman in after a month. And if it's not this one, it's another woman. Okay, go on. You move in, and what happened to a house you thought was his, meaning you thought he owned it?
He told me he owned the house. And one day I came in from work and his phone buzzed. So I looked at it and it was like, "Are you going to give me the rent?" I'm like, "Who's getting rent? What's going on?" So I called my sister, which is a realtor. And I asked her, I said, "You got to run this address for me."
Oh, then now you're going to get all Snoopy and detective
Yes.
after you
And
moved
she-
in? Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh-huh.
And she ran the address and she told me who owned it. So
Right.
then
And
I'm
it was
like,
not
okay.
the guy you're dating.
It was not
Okay.
Barry.
So he comes home.
So he comes home and I ask him about it.
What did you say?
I asked him, I said, "I thought you owned the house." He said, "Well, I do." I said, "No, you don't." And I told him who the house was owned by. And he was like, "Well, it's a long situation. Her father or her brother, it was just too much. It was just too much. I just couldn't take it."
So you moved out.
So then I said, "You know what? I just
So you
gotta
moved
go."
out?
We moved out together.
Nice.
But it's something I know that's
I don't think you're
mine.
following what my implication is. So he was so full of lies that you walked right out of that relationship, and the answer to that would be a resounding no. On the contrary,
yes.
what you did was you looked for a new place together.
Look for a new place together.
Okay, so he not only lied to you about owning it, but he's getting evicted, I guess, because he's non-payment of rent, and you think it's fabulous to go make house with him somewhere else.
Yeah, but I
and
didn't
now
know he
you're
was
whining
getting
to me
evicted.
and complaining to me about how you want money because who knew he wouldn't pay you? I got that right?
Basically.
Yeah, okay. So what do? You move to a new place.
Yes, so we go out and look for places. We looked at one place and we gave a deposit, and that didn't go through. So they gave him back the money, and he never gave me back my share. He never gave me back
How
my
much
share.
was your share?
My share was $65.
Okay.
Yes. And he said he put it in the bank and they kept it.
Okay.
Okay, so I let that go. Then we went and looked at another place, and I had to pay $1,000 for the deposit, which I did, which he was supposed to give me half of it back. Then I paid the $845 for the rent, which he was supposed to give me half of that back.
When did you move in?
They allowed us to move in on December 1st.
And from December when you moved in, when you gave the deposit until June, did he ever pay half the rent?
No.
When did you guys break up?
He was out of the apartment for January, so.
Oh, okay. Oh, that wasn't very long at all.
Oh, no, not at all.
Okay,
Not
and
at
how
all.
did he end up out of the apartment in January?
I told him, I said, you know what? First I went down to the complex and I told him Barry didn't give me his share. She said, well, he signed the lease. I said, I know he signed the lease, but he didn't give me December. So she said, well, if you talk to him and he say he will leave the apartment, he's responsible for December, but after January, he don't have to pay anything. So he signed the papers for that, and I do have all that.
Okay, may I see that?
Just
So how do you tell him time for you to go?
It's time to go.
Right.
These litigants were friends with benefits at 16. 30 years later, they reconciled, moved in with each other after a month. Crazy. And it didn't work out well. Let's listen.
I said, you know what? This is not working out.
I'm not 16.
I can't do this anymore.
A pretty face isn't enough anymore.
Yeah, I have beauty and brains, so I mean, I can't do this anymore.
So what does he say? Does he beg and plead, or does he just go, okay?
No, he said, you know what? I'll leave.
That explains your lawsuit for rent, and that explains the water bill, and that explains the deposit. Why are you suing him for school pictures?
Well, his daughter, school pictures. I wrote a check for it. He told me he's gonna give me the money on Friday. I wrote the check for him to pay for his daughter's school pictures.
Okay.
He never gave me back the money. And I never said anything. I just write stuff down.
Okay.
You know
and
you owe me. Why should I have to, remind you? You know you owe me.
Why are you suing him for movers?
Well, he had to have his belongings moved to our address. The
And
first
you
time
paid
was
it?
Yeah. I put the money out for everything. He just
Why
supposed
are
to
you
give
suing
it
him for money in a piggy bank?
because it was my piggy bank. It was stolen.
By whom?
I don't know.
So
I don't
why
know
does he have to pay for it?
because it was in his house. I told him that my bank was here.
Why was your piggy bank at his house?
Because I had moved all my belongings to his house. I had to move my belongings from his house into the house that we got together.
How do you know the movers didn't take it?
No, because we were the movers.
Well, then how is there $125 for movers?
No, the 125 is for the truck fees. The second time to get
And
all his
lastly,
other
tell me about the
belongings.
storage. What are you suing him for storage from January to June?
We made an agreement that he was going to pay me $35 a month.
Storage for what?
Storage for all his belongings, his painter equipment. 'Cause
Where
he
is
has
that?
a business. It's at my rental unit.
In your apartment?
No, another rental unit that I'm an agent for.
Did he agree to pay you that storage?
No, we didn't talk about that.
What?
Only reason that came about because he didn't keep his word on what he's supposed to pay me.
All right, what's going on?
Georgina, she telling a good story. In December, we moved into the apartment, and I paid her $100 a week until she asked me to leave out. She asked me to leave out on December 12th because she said she still loved the dude that she used to love.
Wait, that December 12th?
Yeah.
You guys have made it all of 12 days in the new place?
No, December 17th. By the 15th, she had went down to the rental place and told him that I didn't pay her at all, so she
So
can get me out.
literally in 2 weeks, that's how long you guys lasted in this place.
Right.
Basically.
She wanted me to go.
And she told you that she was still in love with her ex?
Yeah.
Are you back with your ex?
Yes.
She told me she heard a record on the radio, and she was still in love with him.
That's all it took? A song on the radio? Okay.
And so I was like, hey, I'm gone,
Okay.
And the water bill that she
Were
got
you
from
supposed
Bennington.
to pay half of December rent?
Yes.
And did you?
I gave her $300 until she told me she wanted me out of there.
And you don't acknowledge that he gave you $300?
No, I have what he gave me. Can I tell you?
What did he give you?
He gave me, in December, he gave me $100. And January 6th, he gave me $30. January 13th, my sister picked up $35 from him at his job. And then he gave me another $30. And I hadn't heard anything from him or received any more money from him.
How much money do you think you were supposed to give her?
The only thing I think I owe Georgina is that she helped me out with the traffic ticket. That was $130-something.
Oh, you're also suing for the traffic ticket.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, I meant to that. And now she's suing me for a picture for my daughter. I've been raising my daughter for 6 years by myself. I done bought all her pictures. Gina, at that time we was together, she said she would pay for that. The water bill, she said she would pay for that. Now that we broke up and we're gone, it's been since December. Now she want to hold my work equipment and say she...
Why didn't you? But you guys broke up. Why didn't you just take your work equipment out of there? Because it was convenient and free storage?
Basically.
Yeah. But how did you think that was going to go when she thinks you owe her money and then she files a lawsuit against you? You didn't think this was going to go poorly?
Oh, yeah. Now I see how it's going to go.
So,
yeah. That ain't too much I can do about it. Now she charging me for it. So I don't know what to do. I can't get it.
What about the piggy bank?
I don't know if it was in one of the cases that we gave away with toys and stuff in it. It was one of her friends that moved us. It wasn't somebody else. We didn't know who it was.
Show me proof of what the move costed. Were you supposed to pay half the move?
She had a friend with a truck. She was gonna get him.
Okay, and according to you, you rented a U-Haul?
No, it was not a U-Haul. It was a friend, but we were splitting everything down the middle.
She just said she was gonna get the truck. She said, I got it.
Were there other things that you would get? Like, when do you pay for stuff too, or just she does?
Well, at that time, Gina knew that I was going through hardship, and Gina wanted this as much as I wanted it. She wanted a little bit more. She left her friend to come with me, and then she left me to go back with him. So, she asked me to marry her within the same months of all of this.
Does your ex, who's now your present, know that?
Yes, he knows. I had to tell him everything because we were apart for 3 months, and I realized that I made the biggest mistake of my life, and I went back begging on my hands and knees. And far as the piggy bank, he told me his friend, that's why he didn't show up to help us, because his friend took my bank, and he said, just put it on my tab. So that's what I did.
Did you tell her to put something on your tab? You had a tab with your girlfriend? Did you use the phrase tab?
No.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Harvey Levin here. So was this stupid after 30 years to move in after a month?
Yes, it was very stupid. People change over a period of time, especially 30 years. Like, you don't even know who you are at 16, and then to just decide to move in together after so much time has passed, that's just completely foolish.
You said it really well.
Yes, 30 years, someone changes dramatically in 30 years.
Is it possible that something like this could have worked out?
Yes, I think so. I think if there's passion, if they still think there's rekindled, there's some love there, depending what they're investing in the time and the effort and the money to come together, why not give it a shot?
I think he watches soap operas. Going inside the courtroom.
Did your friend steal her piggy bank?
I never seen the piggy bank. She just said she had a piggy bank.
What about the $65 for the apartment deposit?
Now that was put into my account.
And it's supposed, you do owe her that?
Yes, ma'am.
Excuse me. I'm going to send you a copy of my bank statement. Everything in blue are gifts. I do acknowledge that I do give gifts, but rent, truck fees, money order for a water bill, all that is not a gift.
What about the water bill? That water bill, according to you, she's supposed to pay?
No, according to her, she was
I
gonna
don't care
pay.
what she says. I heard what she says. I'm asking you what you're saying. What is your version of what occurred back then?
She offered to pay.
She would,
yeah,
right. She
and
said
that was it.
she'd just pay the water bill, and that was
Yeah.
it. There was never, you owe me half the
Nah.
water bill, you owe me. Okay.
No,
So according to you, you've received $225 from him?
I've received $255 to be exact, because he did put $60 in my mom's account.
If you don't know her money, why do you keep paying her?
when I paid Georgina, it was in December, and that was for the ticket that I had.
Okay.
That's what I started
When
owing
was the
Gina
last
for.
time you received money from him?
It was, I'm going to say
January
January 20th.
All right, and what's happened from January to now?
I haven't seen him.
So when you all of a sudden got a notice in the mail that you were getting sued, were you surprised?
Yeah.
Because she hasn't even talked to you in all this time?
Well, she said she wanted to go on her way. I went on my way. Okay, it's over.
Okay. I'm going to find in your favor on the deposit, the rent, the full deposit, because that's your portion, the 65, the half of the rent, which is the amount you're suing for, the half of the movers, which is the amount you're suing for, the full amount, of course, of the ticket that he acknowledges. All right, let me tell you the things I have problems with. The water bill, you say he's supposed to pay you half. That he doesn't acknowledge, even though he acknowledges the other things. The school pictures, in every relationship, somebody picks up here, picks up there. According to him, that was just something nice you were doing because you wanted the pictures because you guys were together at that time. That sounds believable. The piggy bank, you don't have proof that he took the piggy bank. And the storage, you can't impose a contract where there is no contract. Unless somebody agrees that they're going to pay you storage, you can't just decide, hey, your stuff is still here, so I'm going to charge you storage. You want that stuff out, obviously, right?
Yes, I do.
Okay, how long is it going to take you to get that stuff out of there?
Saturday.
Saturday. All right, I'm going to give you until the following Saturday. That's a whole week later. You guys are going to make arrangements outside so that you don't have to be in contact with each other because clearly you don't want to be. All right? And then we'll pick a date where he goes over to that location and picks up and cleans all his stuff out of there so that you don't have that stuff in storage. It's not even yours anyway, right? All right. So when I add all that up and I subtract the amount that you acknowledge him paying you, that is then a net judgment in your favor in the amount of $467.50. Good luck, folks.
Thank you. Okay.
All right, so let's see what the defendant has to say about this case coming out here. Step on in here. What's your reaction to being sued, getting pulled into court by her, first of all, and the verdict?
I don't know.
What's it like to look across and see her there?
She's beautiful.
You still have feelings for her?
Oh, yeah, I love Gina.
This goes back a long way between the two of you, right? I mean, that kind of feeling just, what, will always be there?
Oh, yeah.
What do you want to say to her? She's right there. Congratulations. Okay. All right, so step in here. Satisfied how this comes out?
Yes, I am. I'm just really glad it's over. I can close the books on it, Well, what I want people to know is you can't lay, play, and stay and don't expect to pay. It's not reality.
You'd take him back in a second, wouldn't you?
Not at all.
Harvey?
The bottom line here is your conduct is going to determine if you owe the person money. In this case, installments were being paid. When you're paying installments, you owe the money. That will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.